So this is Elon Musk denies reported $45 million a month pledge to Trump, says he doesn't subscribe to cult of personality. Go for it, Rob.
In the media is simply not true.
Okay.
I'm not donating $45 million a month to Trump.
Right.
Now, what I have done is I have created a PAC or super PAC, whatever you want to call it, which is, I simply call it the America PAC. You
want to tell everybody who's listening what a PAC is, because people.
It's a political action committee.
Yeah.
It's an organization. It's sort of a legal entity that can receive funding. That funding can then be used to help with political campaigns.
Yeah. Okay. And how does that differ from a direct donation? There are specific limits on direct donations to candidates, and the PAC system is a way of putting a political structure in place that sort of runs parallel with the political, with the formal political system.
Can we?
This is it. This is where it's a long clip, but he said it at the beginning. There's a shorter clip if you'd like. This is yesterday when he was on Capitol Hill, where he was asked about the reports from the Wall Street Journal regarding.
Play this clip. Yeah, play this clip.
Mr. Musk, are you still going to donate to Trump? Are you still donating $45 million? I'm sorry?
At no point did I say that I was donating $45 million a month to Trump. That was a fiction made up by the Wall Street Journal.
That was a fiction made up by the Wall Street Journal.
Wow. Well, he's drawing a line here. The line here he's drawing is, I'm creating a PAC that is going to support candidates and policy and things during the election that I want to support. That may include Donald Trump. But specifically, it is true that I guess he's not giving the money directly to WinRed or directly to the Trump campaign. That's what he's saying. However, he is putting that money per month, like most wealthy people or giant business owners that are putting their money into PACs to help the candidates that are going to help them if they're elected.
Isn't it weird though? Because we all remember, where were we when we heard that? Everybody was talking about it. Elon didn't come out directly and be like, whoa. So it only happened the day after Trump released the letter that President Mahmoud Abbas of Palestine, he showed the letter denouncing violence and basically sending condolences to Trump in the assassination attempt. And then he goes to Congress. It doesn't add up, because everybody's been hearing this story forever, right, Pat? Were we in New York when we heard it? We were in New York. We were in New York, and it was just.
I heard it this way. We talked about it.
And it was
$45 a month.
And then it's just weird that the day. And
actually, to be exact, it was when Trump got the assassination attempt. He tweeted the video and said, "I fully endorse the president." Then it was the same day, or not the next day, that came out. So it was a day after the assassination attempt, I think.
And it's just weird. Like that's so.
So what are you saying though?
So I don't know, PVD. So I'm saying the support for Trump was there. He's God bless him. He's alive. Then nobody says anything. Everybody believes it. You don't come out and say that it's false. You're Elon Musk. You're on X. That should be the first thing he should have said. This is a lie. You know what I mean? This is a lie. But then it only happens because I think the letter from Mahmoud Abbas was written on the 12th or 6th. Rob, you can find the letter, and then Trump writes on the bottom of it, PBD. It's the Palestine president sends a letter. The day after Trump releases it, is there a photo of it, Rob? Because I can send it to you. There's a letter that he was sent. I think this is it right there. The day after, because this was written on the.
Can you read the letter?
Yeah,
zoom in a little bit, Rob.
There you go. It is of grave concern that I've received news and later on watch footage of the attempted assassination. Acts of violence must have any place in the law. In order to respect others, and tolerance and valuing of human life must prevail. Despicable acts of attempted successful assassinations, acts weakness. I can't really. Rob, can you be a little bit closer?
Are acts of weakness.
Yeah. Failed understanding of peaceful measures to resolve conflicts. Differences must be resolved through communication with freedom and expression. Our thoughts are also with the families of those who lost life and were injured. Wishing you strength and safety. This was on the 14th. Trump just released that the day before, yesterday. And then the day after, Elon's in Congress, going to listen to Benjamin.
What are you saying, though? You're saying something, Vinny. Just say what you're saying.
I'm basically saying the timing is weird.
You're saying because Trump showed something that's maybe anti-Israel, somebody called and said, Elon, you better denounce support for Trump?
I have a feeling that's a possibility that could happen because the timing.
So that's what you're saying.
Yeah, because the timing is off, Pat. That's all I'm saying.
Adam, what are your thoughts?
I'm not reading anything like that. Here's what I can tell you. Is Elon Musk more on Team Trump or more on Team Biden, Democrat, Harris?
In the past couple of years, Trump. He's leaning towards Trump.
Is it even close?
No, not at all.
Okay. When Biden did the EV forum at the White House and invited all the big EV companies, who's the one person that he didn't invite? Glaring omission.
Elon.
Yeah, when you think of electric vehicles, what's the one company, one name you think of?
Elon Musk.
Yeah, it's Elon Musk, okay?
Yeah.
It's not even close where his loyalty lies these days. You know, there's clips out there basically saying, yeah, Trump calls me all the time. I pick up the phone. There's even talks about him being some sort of part of the cabinet, whatever it is. These guys are in touch, and don't make any mistake about it. Elon is on Team Trump. Now, what he's basically saying is, look, I might not be donating $45 million a month. I'm going to cut some checks. Is this a clip about him talking about?
Yeah, I don't know if you want this, but this is where Elon says that Trump calls him out of the blue.
Yeah, just play this real quick, and then I'll land my plane.
I don't exactly know why he. This is a good question. I mean, you know, I have had some conversations with him, and he does call me out of the blue for no reason. I don't know why, but he does, and it's like he's very nice when he calls, and you know, and I was like, you know, electric cars I think are pretty good for the future. America's the leader in electric cars. You know, buy America and stuff, and and I think he actually a lot of his friends now have Teslas. And they will love it, and he's a huge fan of the Cybertruck. So I think those may be contributing factors. You know?
Elon, I'm going to need you a part of my cabinet. There it is. But as far as the specific comment about I don't subscribe to cult of personality, you know, he commented on MAGA recently. He goes, I'm not MAGA, but what I am is MAG. I want to make America greater. And he doesn't necessarily subscribe to all four letters of the acronym MAGA, Make America Great Again. He's 3 out of 4. So if you want to know where his loyalty lines, he's 3 out of 4 with Trump, literally, Make America Greater, and 0 out of 4 with Biden.
Yeah, but the word
and that's
cult,
where he is these days.
word cult, to say cult, when you think of cult, what do you think? David Koresh, Charles Manson. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. So I'm just saying,
take that up with Elon, buddy. That's what he said. Not me.
No, I didn't. That's exactly what I'm saying. Is so out of all this support, to use that specific word to me, I think it's kind of weird.
I think
that's it.
I think here's to speculate. Let's kind of go through and play a few different things. One, could it be that? What is the chances you think he was invited to speak at the RNC? What are the chances he got the invite?
Highly
percentage.
likely.
Give me a percentage. What do you think it is, Tom?
75%.
Tom, where are you at?
I'm at 95% chance that he was invited. Would you like to say some things about?
So what is it? So we know he said no.
For sure.
Okay, he couldn't make it or no or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought about it, of being there, right? Okay. Do you think that upset anybody, or do you think they were indifferent about it?
If Trump is calling him to have just regular, hey, what's up conversations, and if you turn down the RNC, people are probably upset.
Probably upset. Okay, now Trump.
I don't know about that.
What do you mean? He wants loyalty. Trump wants. If you're cool with him,
even Dana White was invited. Trump told the story about, hey, listen, I don't know if I'm going to make it. He's like, look, I get it, whatever. And I spoke to my wife.
That's a good wife, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good wife. Yeah,
so
listen, he's never spoken at an RNC. He's never spoken at a DNC. There's zero track record of him showing up. I don't think anyone's getting upset.
Perfect. So
he doesn't show up.
So now let's go to the next one. The report that came out showing 70% of Tesla owners are Democrats. You know that report that came out with the buyers that we went back and forth?
On Monday.
What's the likelihood that somebody who's a big investor in Tesla, big shareholder, called Elon and said, hey, Elon, do you support his policies? I do. Do you support what Republicans' policies more than Democrat? Absolutely, I do. Mm-hmm. Are you MAGA? No. Maybe it's a good idea for you to distance yourself from MAGA for your shareholders and support a PAC. Maybe differentiate between the two because some people are confused. I can do that. Okay, great. And guess what he says? Hey, guys, I'm not MAGA. I want to make America greater. Okay, cool. But at the same time, I am given to a super PAC based on certain values and principles, but I'm not a follower of a cult-like following of an individual. What's the likelihood a conversation like that took place?
I think it's very, very high, and it kind of reflects back to Michael Jordan. Republicans buy sneakers
That's right.
too.
Now, let's do the other one, which is yours, which is the one you would go to. How about the one that says, you know, guys, yesterday on Twitter, a lot of guys, I saw these things pop up because I follow a lot of people. It's like, well, let me tell you what's going on. What dirt do they have on Elon for him to be sitting there when Netanyahu's given? They told him Mossad has something on him. And if you don't, we're going to leak this to the public because they have something on Elon, right? The Mossad does. What's the likelihood that that's the case?
I mean,
what do you think? What's the likelihood that that's the case?
35 to 40%.
Okay, so then what's the likelihood that that's the case, Tom? That Netanyahu was bringing the. By the way, they gave him the tour of. He gave the tour of Tesla, I believe. They drove him around. He was all over the place.
And mind you, Peter, this all comes from. Remember, it wasn't anti-Semitic. He posted something that Jewish people deemed racist and everything. He had to fly to Israel, put his hand on the wall, wear the yarmulke, do that whole thing that you have to do. So it's not highly unlikely that something like that could happen. Because, you know, these people are powerful. You can't act like they're not powerful.
Or
what?
Elon Musk is the type of person who does what he wants with some leeway here. And he's doing what he wants to do. He famously gave a speech when he was talking about Disney. And he said, I don't care. Go F yourselves. You're trying to tell me you can't speak out of sides of both mouth. Here's a guy that does whatever he wants. He doesn't answer to anybody. The famous line from a Princess Bride that he always quotes, you know, my name is Inigo Amaya. I kill my father. I prepare to die. I do what the hell I want. Here's what's going on. But at the same time, he's bought, he's sold it, he's paid for. There is some leeway here. I understand there is some balance here. But I think I'm on the side of Elon's going to do what Elon wants to do. He's worth $250 billion. Maybe he's a little bit more aligned with the Silicon Valley of the Middle East, aka Israel, than Mahmoud Abbas.
Yeah, no,
By the way, you know who wants to also kill Mahmoud Abbas? Take a wild guess. Would love to kill Mahmoud Abbas. Ready? Go for it.
Who?
Hamas. What's the reason that Mahmoud Abbas? By the way, you know how old Mahmoud Abbas is? Take a guess. Think Joe Biden's old? Mahmoud Abbas is 88 years old, about to be 89, running the PLO. There he is. Look at that pretty guy right there. He can't go into Gaza because Hamas would kill him. So when you're talking about whose side are we on, what's going on here, I don't know. There's one side, if you look into that speech with Netanyahu, there's one side that anyone in the U.S. or even Elon be like, yeah, I'm just going to take that side because I know that their interests are aligned with mine. So we can go all conspiratorial. We can make up stories here. What's going on? The reality is I think that Elon is going to do what Elon wants to do.
I disagree with that because he can't do everything that he does because he wants to do because they said, Israel and Netanyahu, all of them said that he said something anti-Semitic. It wasn't anti-Semitic, so he had to fly to Israel and basically bow down and be like, no, I didn't. He didn't say.
So you use the word he had to.
Yeah. Okay, but hold on. If he didn't, what would have happened to him, Adam?
Vinny, I don't know. This is your world. Your stories you're making up in your head. I think that he wanted to go there.
I made up a story. Did I make it up? What did he say that was anti-Semitic?
Okay.
What did he say? Do you remember?
Let me tell you something, my friend.
Yeah.
Do you know where that is right there? That picture right there?
Yeah, Auschwitz.
Okay. You ever been to a Holocaust museum? You ever been to Auschwitz? You ever seen the worst of humanity, what they do to each other?
But what does that have to do with what he said?
The point is,
what did he say?
When you see stuff like that, it will change you. You ever been to the African American Museum in D.C.?
No, I haven't been to D.C.
That will change your life. You ever go see any sort of genocidal Holocaust memorials, any sort of Armenian Holocaust memorial, any sort of African-American? Go through that, walk through the horrors of what people can do with each other with genocidal
Adam,
intentions.
Assyrians were genocided
that will change your life.
No, I understand that, but
So my speculation is Elon Musk.
What did he say, though? Rob, did you find out what he said? That was so anti-Semitic.
You're focused on one word, Vinny. I'm focused on what he's actually seen and done.
I got you. So let me tell you what I'm watching this morning. I'm watching this morning with Rob. Did you find what he said or no? So Vinny,
I'm looking right now.
Okay. So this morning, Fox and Friends, they have Trump on. Trump calls in. So what do you think about the heritage, 2025, whatever. He says, 25. So I am not with it. He says, I've never read it. I've never seen it. It's 100 pages. I'm sure there's some good ideas in there, but these guys are far-right conservatives that I disagree with a lot of what they have to say, but they're going to try to pin that on me. Okay, great. Then he says, what do you think about what's going on with Netanyahu and, all this other stuff? He says Israel is good at a lot of things, but one of the things they are terrible at is public relations, okay? And what's public relations? Public relations is, like Mr. Beast right now. We're going to go into the story with Mr. Beast. Guess what he has to do? He has to do some public relations. He has to talk to some people and say, how the hell do I handle a situation like this? And do you think he has some handlers behind closed doors from Endeavor, that are telling him, here's the letter, here's how to go through it? Okay, no problem. So, do you think Elon called maybe a Larry Ellison and said, hey, Larry, the thoughts on what happened right now, what is it? Can you zoom up a little bit? So
who posted what?
You have said the actual truth.
So he was called anti-Semitic in reference to this post. You have said the actual truth in response to this post by the artist formerly known as Eric.
So he said Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of dialectical hate against whites that they claim they want people to stop using against them. I'm deeply disinterested in giving the tiniest shit about how Western Jewish populations coming to the disturbing realization that that hordes of minorities that support flooding their country don't exactly like them too much. You want truth? Said to your face, there it is. All he said was, you have said the actual truth, and then he had to go and do the I'm not anti-Semitic tour. That's all I said. Has nothing to do with Auschwitz or all that stuff. What I'm saying is, if you are the man, you do whatever you want. You don't have to go and apologize to anybody if you have that attitude. That's what I'm saying.
But that's public relations.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying to you is I get what you're saying. That's public relations. That's PR. That's let me go. Some of my biggest investors are Jews. Let me go over there and show that I'm not anti-Semitic, but I agree with the sentiment of where they're at. I can sit here and have a lot of things I disagree with Jews, and at the same time not be, not be, against them. I can have differences with a lot of different people and not sit there and say, hey, so he's doing public relations is what he's doing. He went in, you know what he did? Went out there, and I'm probably, Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro called and said, hey, do you want to go out there and make this better? I think he went on Ben Shapiro's podcast right afterwards, if I'm not mistaken, and they did something to talk about that. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he immediately went on someone's podcast and talked about, is this the one? What's the date on this, Rob?
I'm taking a look now. I'm not exactly sure.
So what's the point? It's PR, what he's doing. He has to do PR. Do I think that he is there yesterday because somebody has something on him? I don't know. I think it's as simple as a business decision.
Well, if he said something against, let's pick another minority, against African Americans, would he have to have done?
Yes.
Really?
100%. You have to. 100%. You have to make that audience know, listen, I'm not against you, but this is my current position on this. He would do that as well. He would go and address that as well to make it good. That's your job as a leader. It's not easy to do all the time, but it's your job as a leader. You've done that. We've done that. Sometimes in a smaller setting in a company, it happens. Sometimes you make a comment in a company and you have to come back and say, hey, man, that was just a comment, bro. I don't have any problems with you. This is just on a larger scale because there's microscope on everything the richest man on earth does.
Yes.
Whatever you do, imagine times 8 billion. Because that's how many people are watching what this guy's doing. How many people are watching what you're saying out of work environment or something like that? Take that times the 8 billion people that are watching.
Also, don't forget the following, especially when you're dealing with PR. There's a flip side to it. There's a team of the PR team called crisis management. Yeah. Because anytime you're a celebrity, anytime you're a public figure, you're going to do some great things. They want to amplify it, but you're also going to mess up, and they're going to want to diffuse that.
The contest we announced with Manet, guys, is a contest that's very unique. A lot of you who have big plans of 2024, where you want to do second half of the year, this contest that was announced, effective July 1st, goes till August 31st. The winners of this contest will have a chance to meet Dwayne Johnson and also be invited to be on stage, recognized in front of nearly 10,000 people, where people are going to see you on stage, 10,000 people, your face with your Manet handle for people to be close to you. This is an opportunity for you to network with thousands of people, of them directly knowing who you are. And the way to compete for this is either you're an expert and people ask you questions, or either you compete as a user asking others questions. Right now, in the lightweight category, the leader right now is Bryce Mitchell, UFC fighter. Number 2 is Caleb Altmaier, which Caleb is a pastor, I believe, out of Washington or Portland's got a big mission. He buys strip clubs and builds it into facilities to create rehabs for dancers, which is very interesting. What he's doing. Yeah, for trafficking, yes. And then you have Jose Alvarenga, who is third place for lightweight. Rob, if you can zoom in a little bit. Middleweight, we have right now, as the ranking goes, Samuel Riley, then we have Matten Hakkar, and then we have Aaron Borgman at third place. Heavyweight, we have Dennis Panev, then it's Candace Owens, then Dr. Calvin Ing. Home team, Vinny crushing it as usual. And then you have new users, signups. Mark Cook, first place. Then it's Ronald Silsky. And then Russell Morgan and existing users, Shaw, Matthew, user 0, have asked the most questions. If you haven't yet started participating in this, we had a client reach out to me the other day, ended up being a $100 million client business for somebody I refer to. There are people asking questions about homeschooling, parenting, kids, marriage, finance, preparing for an interview, many business questions, day-to-day questions, political questions. When in the election season, have you ever seen a season where you can go ask some of the biggest influencers on politics, what do you think about it, Cuomo? What do you think about it, Candace? What do you think about it, Tulsi? And they respond back to you. Never in the history of America have we had a time like this that you can actually be able to communicate with some of the biggest influencers on the left, right, and the center and says, what are your thoughts on this? To be able to make better decisions for your family. The QR code at the top is right there. Download the QR code. And if you got any questions here for the folks on the panel, Rob, if you want to pull up the Connect handle for the 4 folks we have here, any one of these, you can ask me, Vinny, Adam, or Tom any questions that you have.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.